All right, today I'm testing installing Lazarus version 3, uh, but not just on my PC, but a low-end mini PC. So let me just make my window here a little bigger. Come on, here we go. Anyway, this is the PC. It's Zotac. Uh, Here we go. So here's how the front looks like, and here's how the back looks like. Anyway, I'm going to be remoting into this PC and using VNC because I'm using Windows 10 Home on this PC. And we can take a look at the specs for this PC. So it's Windows 10, only 4 gigs of memory and only 3.85 usable memory. So this is truly low end. And it's a Celeron 1.1 gig. Anyway, let's take a look at the CPU information. It's only a 4 core, but I'm just displaying all the information just in case you want to make comparisons with your own low-end PC or current PC. I'm not going to update the program here because with these types of programs, let's just click on the update button. You'll see what I mean. It's a it's a horrible website that basically hopes that you will click on something in terms of trying to update this program. There's a download button here, a download button here, another download button. Which is the download button for the actual updating this program? I'm getting old, so it's hard to tell. It's like almost impossible for me to figure this just by staring at it. It's truly awful. Bad programmers. Anyway, here's the current version of this program. So it tells us there's 4 cores, and it tells us the exact Intel Celeron it is N3450, code name Apollo Lake. Anyway, we don't need any more information than what's listed here, but I'm just going to hit the tabs just in case someone wonders what more information there is. And I'm going to close that down. So I'm going to do a little disk benchmark because I replaced the original drive on this. I put a 220 gig A data drive in here. Let me just make sure it is A data hardware. Yeah, A data SU700. So that's I think at 220 or something like that. 219 it says there. And so let's set that to 1. And I'm just going to run it so you get an idea how fast in terms of write and read speed this computer is. Again, only 4 gigs of memory, so there's not a lot of room, but the SSD should help. So currently there's no Lazarus installed here. I'm just going to go through all the steps of going to the actual website, downloading it, installing it, and installing one of my applications and see if it compiles correctly. So I'll do this first time around. I haven't done this before, so let's hope everything turns out well. Anyway, so that's the specs for the SSD read and write speeds. So you can compare that with yours if you install this Crystal Disk benchmark. It's still not finished. Let's wait for it to finish. Again, this is just to get an idea of if Lazarus will work on a low-end PC. So, and this is the slowest PC that I found in my basement with Windows 10. And this is not even a recent version of Windows 10. I have the updates stopped on this with this Win Update Stop program. And this is useful if you're a developer and don't want Windows interrupting you all the time to do an update. Up to version 1.4 it was free to use, but after that I think they're charging a monthly charge now. So if you can find 1.4 and it works with your current Windows 10, that might be good. I think there's other programs that do a similar task, but I found this to be really easy to download and just install and enable and disable the updates. Sometimes I want to do it manually, but Windows 10 doesn't give you that option anymore. It if it falls within their window, yes. Otherwise, if they decide it's time for an update, they'll reboot your computer without you having any control over it, which is really irritating. Anyway, that's the score for the benchmark. I'm going to close this down and I'm going to open up browser and we're going to go to Lazarus website and looks like Chrome updated itself also. Chrome doesn't seem to be all that responsive because it's huge now. Come on. Okay, got it. Also, I'm using VNC to remote into this PC, so if it seems a little sluggish at times, it's because I'm not, this is not a HDMI capture or anything. It's just from remoting into the PC, and that's why it looks square at this point. So let's go to Google and do Lazarus download. And Windows 32 and 64 bits, Windows 64 and add-ons. Yeah, let's go for Windows 64 and add-ons. Yeah, Win64, that should be it. Okay, so it's downloading. Now, hopefully this Windows 10 doesn't think it's a virus or something and it kills our download. Let's see. So far, so good. And yeah, let's just double click on it. Let's minimize this. Okay, so Windows protected your PC. Great. I love that. So if you're ever trying to download programs these days with Windows 10 and Windows 11, unless they've come with a certificate on the installer, you're going to get messages like this. So this is perfectly normal for a setup program or a program that doesn't have a certificate installed, or which is a lot of the open source programs. So that's kind of normal, but Windows makes you think it's something terrible. Anyway, we're going to run it anyway. In English, and here we go. Lazarus 3.0 on your computer, that's what we want. It's going to install in the C folder, create a new secondary. No, we'll make this, this is the only installation, so we'll leave it as the primary. This option is if you have a current version installed and you don't want to You don't want to make changes to that, you can choose this and go through that process. So can you start menu folder? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, let's create a desktop shortcut. Delete all, no. We don't have any, so it doesn't need to delete anything from previous installs. Okay, and so far, again, on a 4 gig PC, it seems to be running, at least the installs running pretty well. And this might take a few minutes. Now, the reason I wanted to test this on some low-end hardware is because um, I don't know exactly what everybody's using in terms of Windows hardware these days. I know a lot of people have moved on to other operating systems like Linux or Mac OS or even Chromebooks. But if you wanted to do some programming on Windows, I wanted to see what your cheapest option was that would still work. So I know a lot of things you can do in Linux, but there's just some things you can't really do in Linux and you have to do in Windows. And um, and I think Lazarus actually runs pretty well on Windows. I'm kind of surprised. I've been able to create a few programs, and I fully don't understand Lazarus yet. I'm learning more and more each day, but there's a whole lot of things I don't understand. But it's very intuitive for an open source program, and usually Googling things will find an answer. And even if there's no exact answer for Lazarus, if you Google the same thing for Delphi, uh, you'll come up with some hints. Maybe not the actual answer, but some hints that allows you to figure things out. And so that's what I've been able to do. And there's also a lot of books on Delphi. So anything that's not covered in the wiki or the documentation or example programs, you could always resort to some older books on Delphi, and you'll find the answers there. Now, most of the things I deal with are just hobby kind of uses for Lazarus. I don't have any kind of business need, so anything in corporate environment, I really don't have any idea how well Lazarus works. I know it has the capability to create database applications, but I'm not sure how often that's used or if companies are just using Delphi for those things and just avoiding using open source like Lazarus. So, but it's all things considering, for the people that use Lazarus, it's a very good program. It's a very good development environment. And one of the few actually that I've been able to use for so long. Usually with some open source projects, it's very exciting at first to download it and start playing around, which I've tried the Rust programming language. It seemed like that was the next big thing, but after downloading it and spending countless hours of trying to even just do basic things, it's not there. It's not there for me at least. Finding information or like converting things from C or other languages to Rust, it's terrible for me. I'm gonna wait it out until like there's a lot better documentation or until people have figured it out and here's what Rust is really good at and I'll get back to it. But I've tried some other things as well as Zig. Zig turned out to be better than I was expecting, so I was able to get a little further on Zig than Rust. But uh, when it comes down to it, developing desktop applications, Nothing beats Lazarus for me, so that's why I like it so much. It's not that, well, one reason is because I know Pascal and it makes things easier, but it's also very good. And I'm not using it because I know Pascal. I'm using it because it's very good. And so I will continue to use it until I find a replacement. So far, the only thing that comes close to ease of use in terms of developing desktop applications that I found, it's really just Visual Studio with C Sharp as your main language. So that for me, that would be if I couldn't use Lazarus, it would probably be Visual Studio with C Sharp. All right, so it's installed. Here's our icon. Let's see if we can launch it and create a simple desktop app. And so far everything came up fine. So here's our main window. Let me see if I can resize it. It looks like I can, okay. Let's try resizing from somewhere else. And okay, our first problem, I can't, oh, there we go. So I can resize it a bit. So normally when you hover over this area, it changes the mouse pointer, but I'm not sure if this is a problem using it through VNC and it's not a lot. Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's put in a button. There we go. Let's change the description. Change it to hello. And let's put in, what else can we put in that's visually memo field? Yeah. Okay. All right, so let's run this program. So I noticed there was some new options there. So I'm using, I think, version 2 something on my regular desktop PC. So far, everything kind of looks the same. I don't see anything visually all that different. And there we go. It worked. So simple hello program. But what I really want to do is download one of my programs, download the source from GitHub, and go from there. So let's go to project, close this project. Don't discard changes. Okay. So let's go back to Chrome, and I'm going to Google my own program. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to download just a zip file of the GitHub repository. So download zip, and let's hope the antivirus doesn't give us any problems here. No, it's all here. Okay. So I'm just going to copy and paste this onto the desktop. All right, so if we go back into Lazarus now and open a project, and go to desktop here, and I find my code, and we select the project file. Okay, so it tells us Laz color palette uh, is not installed or failed to load. So I need to install that. Okay, so let's go to the online package manager and search for the color. So it's the color palette, and I'm going to install it. And when you're installing packages, it needs to rebuild Lazarus. Yes, so it will just recompile everything. I'm not sure if we can see the compilation process, but I think it's under this one. Let's see. I see a little bit of yellow here. That's why I'm trying to click there. I think we just have to wait it out. Something is happening, but I'm just check the. Yeah, I'm seeing the hard drive activity. It's going crazy. So something is happening. And it says here compiling. So I don't know if it's because the PC is so slow that we're not getting the ability to change into the window that shows us the progress. Maybe it's hammering the CPU. Let's check the speed. So yeah, we're maxing out the CPU and memory, it seems. Okay. All right. So it looks like we're back. It's relaunching Lazarus. Minimize this. Okay, and so here is the my program with the color palette component installed. So now we should be able to compile this. Um, so I guess there's a new debugger or new options for the debugger. I don't remember seeing this come up all the time. I'm not even sure what these actually mean, but let's go with defaults. Defaults are always good. Oh, and we have an error. Okay. Identifier not found. I think I know what this means. In the earlier version, one of the hints was telling me that I think some of the functions in the file util unit was going to be moved. So I think it moves to las file utils. So let's try changing that. Resave everything and let's try compiling again. And it looks like, yeah, we successfully built the program. So let me just try drawing a few things. Yeah, it looks normal. Let's bring in the map editor. Everything looks normal here as well. Uh, okay, so yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on this. So it seems to work. And again, 4 gigs of memory. I don't have many things installed on this computer. I don't even have Office installed, but I think that what I'm trying to prove here is if you're looking for like just a PC to get Lazarus going on, it'll actually work on 4 gigs of memory and a low-end CPU. So this is a Celeron 1.1 gig processor, and I think it's fine, just for some basic programming. I mean, if you're going to develop some huge application, you probably need a faster PC, but I think just to get started and play around, I think it works fine. All right, so this is where I'm going to end the video at. Thanks for watching.